Right now, here's a quickie in VP4, particularly in the snooker. There are two breaks that you can do that can get behind either of these baulk colours, the green and the brown. Now, the one that I've just done gets you behind the brown, and I'm going to replay it. And if you actually look at the top left of the HUD, you'll see that it is touching the brown ball. You couldn't get any more perfect than that. Now, obviously, there's a big risk because you're hitting the pack firm. You've got lots of right-hand side in the cue ball. This break actually was overhit, and that's how I've ended up here. But when you look at where the cue ball goes, it takes a path off the pack of the reds, round the angles of the right-hand side, in between the pink and blue. Now, the line that it takes, and this is important, the line that it takes, the cue ball hits about there, and then comes down, and then rolls up onto the brown. The more conventional break is the one that will actually hit the baulk line. It will actually hit the rail on the baulk line, and it goes there, and it comes up behind the green. So this one has been overhit, but it finishes behind the brown. So let's do a quick replay, but watch the amount of side that I've got in the cue ball when I hit this break shot, and it's hitting the second last red in the pack. So it loads the right hand side, it's going to clip the second last red over to the rail. It hits about a foot above the baulk line, and then it finishes touching the green. And the only difference between the two shots I'm talking about is that this shot I actually overhit it. The first one I was talking about, what I've found in VP4 is if you get the break right, excuse me while I cough, if you get the first break right, you don't hit it quite as hard as I did with this one. VP4 has a tendency to do the same thing. The cue ball will hit the second last and the last red, go around the corner with the right hand side. It will come down and it will come to this line, as I say, and then if you've got the pace right, it will finish behind the green, or at least the green will be obscuring the right hand side of the table. If you get the break right, you don't have to worry about the left hand side, because if you finish short of the green and you hit the break correctly, what tends to happen is the two corner reds from the left hand side of the pack, they go in unison to the side rail, and then they usually finish about here, but they're both in line with one another, so they're effectively blocking one another, and there's never a shot on the left hand side of the table. That's one thing to try. If you're going to practice breaking off in VP4, you want to do it, well, you can do it obviously left or right hand side, but I tend to be right hand side. Aim for the edge of the second last red and the last red. Get the right hand side on the cue ball so it fizzes round the corner and gets into that angle between the blue and pink. If you don't get enough on it, you're going to hit the blue. And so if you get the line right, you'll come down there, finish there, and finish behind the green. Overhit it like I did, and you'll head towards the brown, but there's a stronger chance that you'll leave something on. If you hit the corner ball on the pack, and you hit it too thick, what will happen with the corner ball, and it happens in real life snooker as well, if you don't get it right, the corner ball will go to the end rail, it will come back, and if it misses the pack, it ends up coming down into the middle of the table. And if you don't have cover with the cue ball, you'll leave a pot on into the middle pocket. So that's something to think about if you're practicing breaking off in Virtual Pool 4. So let's watch this again. Loads the right hand side, Just a pity there isn't the dots in the cue ball and you can see the amount of spin that's on it. Touching the brown. That's how to do it.